All right, let's get into it. We're going to explore a pretty wild idea today, that artificial intelligence, well, it isn't really all that new. In fact, the way we relate to it, the way we think about it, it follows a script that's literally thousands of years old.
So let me ask you something. Does it ever feel like your phone knows you better than you know yourself? I mean, it's a super modern question, right? But you know that feeling, that little nagging suspicion that your feed or your smart speaker is somehow wired directly into your thoughts.
You know what I'm talking about. You're just thinking about a ski trip, and bam, an ad for ski boots pops up. Or maybe you're feeling a bit down, and your music app, out of nowhere, serves up the perfect moody playlist. We've all had that happen, right? It feels like some kind of magic. Or, let's be honest, a little creepy, like something all-knowing is watching.
But here's the twist. What if that feeling isn't new at all? What if it's actually ancient? I know it sounds a little out there, but what if this whole relationship we have with an invisible, all-knowing intelligence is just an echo of something really, really old? Like we're just acting out an ancient story, but with new props.
Okay, so first up, from myth to big data. It's all about how we take the stuff we don't even consciously know about ourselves and turn it into code.
Okay, check this out. On one side, you have ancient myths. Think about it. They took all our deep, unconscious fears, hopes, and values and baked them into these amazing stories about gods and heroes. They just felt true. Now look at the other side. Big data profiles. It's kind of the same thing, isn't it? Tech companies take all our unconscious clicks, our likes, even how long we pause on a picture, and they encode that into a model that predicts what we're going to do next. Two different methods, same fundamental goal.
And this quote from Mayer Schonberger and Cookier just nails it. Data became a raw material of business. Think about that. All our little clicks and scrolls, our digital exhaust, that's the new clay. Just like stories and songs were the raw material for building an ancient worldview, our data is the raw material for building this new digital one. And just how powerful is this new kind of code? Well, get this. A 2015 study showed that an AI model needed just 300 of your Facebook likes to predict your behavior better than your own husband or wife. Just 300 likes. That is absolutely wild. So, if this code is so powerful, how do we end up interacting with it?
Right, that brings us to the next piece of the puzzle, the new rituals and priests. We're talking about a shift from ancient shamans to modern algorithms.
Think of it this way. Back then, you had the shaman, right? They were the go-between, the person who could interpret this big, mysterious spiritual world for you. You didn't get it, but they did, so you trusted them. Well, what's the algorithm? It's the exact same role. It's our new intermediary. We don't understand the billions of data points, but the algorithm does, and we trust it to tell us what to watch, who to date, and even what to believe.
And our interactions with these new shamans, they've become rituals. Seriously, let's break down the anatomy of it. First, there's compulsion. That's the anxiety you feel when you can't check your phone. It's a real physical pull. Then there's rigidity. You probably do it the exact same way every single time, like that morning scroll through your feeds before you even get out of bed. And finally, and this is the really key part, gold emotion. The ritual itself becomes the point. You're not clearing your inbox to actually communicate, you're just doing it for the satisfaction of hitting inbox 0. The original purpose is gone.
And over time, these little rituals, they change us. It's a process some researchers call creep, and it happens in a couple of key ways. First, you have contracting creep. Every time you click I agree on some massive, unreadable terms and conditions, you're basically training yourself to just blindly trust authority. Then there's surveillance creep. We give our personal data away so freely and so often that being constantly watched just starts to feel normal. See, these aren't just quirky habits, they're rituals that are actively reshaping how we see the world.
So, the big question is, why? Why are we so ready to fall into these patterns? Why does it feel so natural to trust these systems almost religiously? Well, it turns out the answer is hardwired into our brains.
Okay, we need to talk about a quirky piece of our brain's software. It's called the Hyperactive Agent Detection Device, or HAD for short. It's basically a cognitive glitch, a little shortcut that makes us see purpose and intention, even in random things. And it's there for a very, very good evolutionary reason.
So picture one of our ancient ancestors. They hear a rustle in the grass. Their HAD kicks in and screams, "Tiger!" Now maybe it's just the wind, no big deal. But if it is a tiger and you ignore it, game over. It was way safer to see agency everywhere. Fast forward to today, that same ancient instinct is still running. So when that super specific ad pops up right after you talked about something, your brain doesn't go, "Oh, that's just a clever statistical correlation." Nope. Your HAD kicks in and you think, my phone is listening to me. It knows.
And get this, every good belief system needs a form of sacrifice, right? In ancient times, you'd offer up crops or animals to the gods for a good harvest or a spot in the afterlife. What do we offer up today? Our data. We sacrifice our personal information on the altar of convenience. And for the true believers, the tech utopians, it's for the promise of something much bigger, the singularity. A future where we can upload our minds and live forever, which, if you think about it, sounds an awful lot like the religious idea of the rapture.
Okay, so this all brings us to a really crucial point. This digital faith we have, it's convenient, it's powerful, but what's the price? Is all this convenience actually costing us something essential, like our own individuality? One of the biggest dangers here is something called lock-in. Here's the idea. A simple digital tool like a like button or a 5-star rating becomes so dominant that it starts to shrink our world. We have this rich, complex range of human experience, but we're forced to squeeze it into the tiny boxes the machine gives us. We stop expressing nuanced opinions and start just thinking in terms of likes or star ratings. Our reality gets, well, flattened to fit the system.
And here's the thought experiment to really drive this home. Some call it Google Morals. Think about it. Most of us have already outsourced our sense of direction to Google Maps, right? But are we losing the ability to build a mental map of our own cities, to really know our way around? So let's take that one step further. What happens when we start outsourcing our morality? If an app could tell you the right thing to do in any situation, would we forget how to figure it out for ourselves? Would we lose our own moral compass?
Now look, this isn't about some scary dystopian future. It's about a choice that we are making right now about what comes next.
So there is a really positive way to look at all this, and it comes from something called the extended mind theory. The basic idea is that your mind isn't just what's inside your skull. A tool can actually become part of your thinking process. The classic example is a notebook for someone with memory issues. That notebook isn't just a tool, it's a real functional part of their mind.
So that's one path, right? The optimistic one. Is AI becoming that ultimate tool, a true extension of our own minds? Could it take care of all the complex, boring stuff and free us up to be more creative, more connected, more human?
Or is it the other thing? Is it becoming a system that we just surrender to? A system where we stop using the tool and the tool starts using us, where we give up our own thinking and just let it make our choices for us.
And that, right there, is the choice. These are the two paths in front of us. Path 1, the tool. AI is decentralized, it's personal, and it helps us figure out our own values. Path 2, the dogma. AI is centralized, it shapes us to fit its values, and it becomes, for all intents and purposes, a new kind of religion.
Look, at the end of the day, the technology itself isn't in charge. We are. The patterns we're seeing might be ancient, but the choice is happening right now, and it's ours to make. So what are we building? Is it a tool that serves us, or is it a new God that we serve? That's the real question.